Welcome to Muddy River News This Week, furnished by Harvey's. I'm Bob Goff. Quincy's Washington Theater turns 100 next year, and although it hasn't shown movies since 1982, there's been a group dedicated to restore it. It looks beautiful on the outside when you see those lights on at night. On the inside, well, they're working on it. But the roof is fixed, and that's good. So my guests today are Jim Lawrence and Maggie Strong, who are part of the commission. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
You're also having a survey. What is the survey about? I'll let Maggie talk about that since she's the survey master around here.
Yes, and actually I'm not part of the commission. I am joining the Washington Theater on this project, the strategic planning process. And so part of this process that we're entering into is finding out what the public thinks about the Washington Theater, what they see as its future, what they love about it, their memories of it, and we want to hear from them, so that helps us inform the strategic plan.
We have a link directly under this video where you can see, you'll be able to just go to the survey right from there, so we'll have that all set up. So Jim, I know the roof got fixed and that helped stabilize the building, but what are the next steps?
Well, the next steps are basically to kind of get the results of Maggie's plan to figure out where we go from here. I think we've done a lot of work on the architectural design of the Washington Theater. We've worked with a couple different architects locally, and we've worked with one out of Dallas who is a theater architect specifically. And so we kind of have the initial plans and the drawings in place. We don't have all the architectural renderings that the contractors would need. That part of it will be pretty expensive, but we do kind of know what we want to do with the theater, and we have kind of an estimated cost of what it will take to renovate the Washington Theater. So
that cost is?
That cost is going to be in 2 phases, and it's estimated right now phase 1 is going to be around $10 million to redo the theater. And a lot of that is because the theater does need everything. Mm-hmm. Right now it needs new electrical, it needs new plumbing, HVAC. Remember, when that theater was built back in 1924, there was no ADA. There were no elevators. People walked up the steps, these skinny little steps, and so all that has to be changed and updated to accommodate today's standards. And you know, as we go along this path, we're finding things that we're going to have to do, like expanded emergency exits, fire suppression systems, and things like that. And as you know, that adds up, and that all costs a lot of money to do.
Absolutely. And Maggie, what sort of questions are you asking on the survey to determine the building's future?
Sure. Well, first of all, we want to know how important it is to the community. So we're asking folks to, tell us, how important is it to you personally? And then we want to know the history of their personal history. When was the last time you were in the theater? Have you ever been in a theater? And then we really want to know what they think the theater could be. So we have a really long list of just ideas for how this theater could be reused, kind of opening up people's eyes, and we want them to rank those ideas so that the commission can then have a better idea of what the community supports, what they want to see happen in the future.
And the city owns the building, correct?
The city owns the building. We formed a 501c3 nonprofit organization called the Friends of the Washington Theater, and we are the ones that are actually coming up with the fundraising aspects of getting the building restored. Will the city own the building forever? We don't know that. Maybe someday it would be feasible to turn it over to the Friends of the Washington Theater. But we are a nonprofit organization, and we are soliciting for funds to get this project going. And we need funds in the millions of dollars to get this project kicked off. But we have been receiving donations through charitable foundations within the area, and that helps us with a lot of the planning that we need to do to hire Maggie to bring her on to get us going in the right direction. We feel like if we have a good foundation at the beginning and a good plan, that we can sell this project to the public.
And the commission was put together in what, 03?
Yes, 03 by former Mayor Chuck Schultz, and I believe originally what happened is Quincy University was interested in a performing arts center, and at that time they found some funding that was available to put into the theater, and as you remember, back then there was a company by the name of SunWest that owned the theater. The city actually gave the theater to the SunWest Corporation for $1. Well, the terms of that agreement were not followed by SunWest, and so the city ended up taking the theater back in possession. Well, SunWest came in there and they did some remodeling. They tore out basically the lobby area. They put some like the dance studio that's there now. They put that up on the second floor and remodeled those areas. However, looking at our architectural plans for the theater, all that's going to have to be redone because they put the stairwell right in the middle of the lobby, which made no sense at all. So anyway, we are going to be working on those plans and trying to get that project up and going and get some of those details in place so the public knows exactly what we're going to be doing.
Well, I can't refresh my memory. Was it the city or was it Sunwest West who did the roof?
The city. Okay. It was through the Washington Theater Commission.
Okay.
Yes, we did the roof, and we spent we received it was around I actually got the numbers here. Received $223,000 in federal grant from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Part of that did go to the roof, and then we received $115,000 from the state, and that went to basically help us with the architectural plan. The original feasibility study we did back, gosh, Maggie, well, that was years ago. And so a lot, and then the money, the leftover money had a spend down period, so we had to spend it down. So we basically restored the marquee in the front of the building to make it look nice. And the mayor then, John Spring, wanted that facility to look nice. That was a good thing, maybe. People drive by and they think it's finished until they go inside, like you initially said.
But it is. It is. I mean, when you're there for any event in the square or a dinner at tiramisu, whatever, you walk out and it's cool.
It's a beautiful marquee.
You see the marquee,
Absolutely.
and it's like, people can put their messages on there and stuff, and it is. And again, but it would be nice to have that inside done. And Randy and I were talking. He's going to write you a check, so you're fine.
Oh, thanks, Randy.
But no, again, but this is a project you guys have been working on for 20 years, and. What is it? What do you think? And Maggie, this probably goes to you. I guess this survey will hopefully give you the direction to find that spark that can really kick the project into the next gear, right?
Yes, I think you said it, the spark. People like Jim and other dedicated commissioners have been involved for these 20 years and have kept things going and done great things and helped keep that, that shell there. But we need a spark. So that's what this plan is intended to do, is to get the public re-engaged, to get donors re-engaged, to help them show, we know Riverfront, 6th Street, other things like the transportation plan, we know plans work, because then that leads to hopefully funding, and so that we want to show the public that we have a true plan, and so that then we can go after bigger dollars.
And Jim, you've had a variety of fundraisers over the years and continue to do so, correct?
Correct. And the fundraisers that we have, I mean, to give you an example, we just had a fundraiser a couple weeks ago where we had music trivia in the theater. And it was a nice event. We had a lot of people, but we made $5,000 on that event. Well, $5,000 does not go very far when it comes to when you're talking about millions of dollars. Now, it does help pay electric bills. It does help, take care of some of the things that we have to do to keep that building up. But it doesn't really get to the point of raising money to start construction in the facility itself.
And again, this survey, again, as I said, the survey is linked directly below the video that you're watching if you're on our website. So take a look at that and see if you think it should be performing arts. It could be, showing classic movie, whatever. And it can do lots of different things. I mean, there are so many. That's such a great space. There are so many options. I mean, you really do kind of have a blank slate to work with, don't you?
We do. And I think the other thing with that is that people say, well, we have enough theaters in Quincy. We have enough event centers in Quincy right now. But if you take a look at the Washington Theater, it's a unique space. There's not a lot of spaces like that. Go to a movie theater out to the mall. They're not designed that way. They're a square box. They're a black box theater. This has this unique architecture. Remember back in the early days when this theater opened, there were no sound devices. There were no amplifications. So when they built that theater, acoustics was very important because people on the stage had to project. And if you were in the balcony or you were in the back of the theater, you had to hear. So we're really excited about the possibilities with not only the acoustics and sound in the theater, but having the unique ability to light the theater professionally is something that we're really excited about. And having the stage, plans call for that stage to be thrusted out into the audience a little bit, which will make for some really unique performances. We've got a lot of theaters. We've got the Quincy Community Theater. We've got Morrison Theater. They are traditional theaters. They are not what we're planning at the Washington Theater. What we want to plan is and we hope that Maggie's survey will reveal this, is people want a space they can go to see a concert, a comedian, maybe a place to do a wedding reception, maybe a place to have a corporate meeting. So we want it to be a very versatile location. You know, if you want to bring a catering outfit in and cater a nice dinner in there, you know, that's something that we're looking at too. So I think the options are open right now, and we're really excited to bring Maggie aboard to help us with this part of it. And one of the reasons we brought Maggie aboard is because she's been involved in a lot of studies within the community, and she knows a lot of people in the community, like the Children's Museum, for example. We talked about working with the Children's Museum on programming that maybe, you know, we can present some children's programming in the Washington Theater as part of what they do. So I think working with other organizations in the community is going to be important for us too.
And Maggie, when as part, again, not to, like, you know, people are going to get in and read the survey, but Jim mentioned the part about the multiple theaters that we have in town, and, you know, most of them are, I mean, Morrison is just beautiful and it's been around forever. There's also different seating capacities for these theaters. Are some of those things going to be, like, addressed in the survey or questions asked along those lines?
Absolutely. So the survey is just one piece of the research we're doing. We're also doing stakeholder interviews with folks who have a history, so all the commissioners will be talking to them, as well as folks who have been involved in the past. And we're going to be looking at the market. We're going to be looking at all the other event spaces so that we have all of this data, and then we'll get together as a group looking at that data and help us then determine some priorities. So survey is a very important piece, but it's just one piece of the research we'll be doing to put this together.
And you want the survey information, you want them to have this done by when?
October 18th, I believe.
Okay, and then so after that, then the survey's done, then you begin the groups and they can kind of start going down that road?
We'll be doing planning sessions. I'm already talking one-on-one with many folks. If there's somebody out there who wants to talk one-on-one, I'm happy to have those conversations. Our goal right now is to get as much information as possible.
Okay, Jim, anything else before we wrap up?
Just that, you know, we invite people to come down to one of our events to take a look in the theater. Come down and ask questions about, you know, what our plans are. You know, the interesting part about the Washington Theater is every time we have an open house or we have an event there, we have people coming in and say, you know, I met my spouse here, or I remember coming to my first movie here. So there's a lot of memories of people coming down to that Washington Theater in Quincy. You know, it used to be one of the premier theaters in downtown Quincy. The other thing too I wanted to mention, it's not just about the Washington Theater, it's about the community. It's about the district and the downtown area. You know, wouldn't it be nice to come downtown in the evening and have, you know, other places open, have maybe 500 to 1,000 people in the Washington Theater, and before and after they're looking for either dinner or a place to go out and get a drink afterwards. That could spark economic development within the downtown area. You know, our original study said that, and this was years ago, that, you know, opening the Washington Theater would have a $4 million impact on the city of Quincy. That was years ago, so, you know, that number is probably a lot higher right now. So there's a lot of history in that theater, in that building, and we want to preserve that, and we want people to be able to utilize that facility.
All right. Well, Jim Lawrence, Maggie Strong, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So like I said, go fill out the survey, and then after that, we'll see, and good luck, and hopefully the Washington Theater once again return and become one of the gems of the Gem City. So that's all the time we have for now. I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.